Alright, what is up? We are back. We are going to hop into some beginner division matches here. This is going to be Burnvictim versus Wyldkin. These are best of threes. And then we'll get into Winterload versus Wyldkin after that. And yeah, we'll probably call it a stream from there. So let's hop into it. Match number 1 here. Okay, spawning up top, Burnvictim. And in the bottom right, Wyldkin. I don't recognize Burnvictim. Could be a new player. Could be a Smurf or name change. I can't talk anymore. Name change. Sometimes people just change their handles. Wyldkin, though, I do recognize. Used to hang out a lot during the Feast replay shows and submit stuff. So good to see Wyldkin back in action here in the tournament. And yeah, let's check it out. Burnvictim's deck looks pretty modern and standard. The Pigeon is a bit of a change up on the Mole, but I think it'd be just fine, depending on how the game progresses. Pure Lizard is pretty fun, so let's see if Burnvictim can get anything done with Pure Lizard. Meanwhile, in the bottom, Wyldkin going for a similar concept with the Pigeon here, but Pigeon, Cam, Falcon on both sides, and Wolf, so very similar. And unfortunately for Burnvictim, kind of loses the 6th deck slot pick. Well, it's interesting, right? Because he's got lizards versus squirrels, so on paper, lizards are better there. But then it's ferrets for Wyldkin versus the MGs of Burn, which Wyldkin gets the advantage on. And the lizard-squirrel relationship, too, is not really that straightforward. It has a lot to do with the terrain, with the engagement. In some situations, the squirrels are much better. So just 8 farm doubles from both sides. Pretty prolific map here. Lots and lots of gristmills. I think I kind of like it better for Burnvictim, but I think Wyld is okay. Wyld could just take the base up here. I think that's pretty much fine. It is a pretty open map, though, which is nice for Burnvictim since they are running lizards. They could do crazy stuff even if they wanted to, coming around the back and whatnot. Well, one downside of when you only have lizards, though, is, like, for example, sometimes what I like to do when I play Squizzard is I'll only build, like, 3 or 6 lizards, right? So then I could be a little reckless and try to come in and, you know, snipe a Warren or a pig or something. If I lose the lizards, like, yeah, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Burnvictim, though, with just having lizards, you know, if he loses all these lizards trying to harass, I mean, that could end the game. So, gonna come in here and poke and prod. Wyldkin gonna be fine, though, on the defense. A little bit awkward being on the low ground, but nice exchange there for Wyldkin. Both players getting into their tier 2. Red here is getting that second base up. Yeah, Wyldkin decides to take the bottom base. I don't disagree with that. It's a weird thing to say, don't disagree. Just mean agree. It just sounds like... I don't know, it sounds better though, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, I don't disagree with that. Does that mean that I don't necessarily agree either? Maybe I'm neutral? But you have to either agree or disagree, right? Is there a middle ground to that? Is agreeing and disagreeing? No, I guess not. Yeah, I guess that would be a spectrum. Anyways, Wyldkin moving in. And gonna take the trade. Nice. Both players lose their cams, but all the squirrels left over after the engagement, and Burnvictim going to try their best here to hold on, but Wyldkin getting so much damage done. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I was going down a stupid tangent about agreeing and disagreeing, but I guess maybe there was a few extra squirrels there at the start for Wyldkin than the lizards from Burnvictim, and Hopper is gonna eventually hold, but at what cost? I think the damage has been dealt here from Wyldkin. Burnvictim needs to think about, is there a way back into this? Looks like they might be considering trying to harass with the cam. I do like that, but Wyldkin not gonna give Burnvictim the opportunity to get back into this game. Gonna keep the pressure on. Yeah, exactly. I have no strong feeling one way or the other, so I guess, yeah. That would be like the middle ground between agreeing and disagreeing. Nicely done there by Wildkin. I think Burnvictim might have been just a bit too greedy on that second base. And not build up enough tier 1 to respect the push, the threats of the quartermaster there. Alright, point on the board for Wildkin. Let's keep going here. Match number 2. And spawning on the left-hand side, Burnvictim going Squirrel Toad this time. And over on the top right, Boar Fox from Wildkin. I love this deck that Wildkin is running. I have a lot of fun with it. I think Boar Fox is in a pretty cool spot in the meta. It's always a pipe dream for me, though. I think Intermediate League probably has the most aggressive matches. I was thinking about this last night too, right? Because Premier League, I mean, of course, Premier League has some aggression. We've seen a ton of that already. But you're a little more hesitant in Premier League because it's kind of like, you know, Tatanka or Sasha or Airlu or good players like that. I mean, they know how to handle your aggression, right? Like, they're not going to give you that window to come in and stomp them. And so, generally, that's what kind of drives the 16 farm games. So, you can see, like, the Tier 3 happen a lot more in Premier, I think, than you will in Intermediate. And I think you're going to see it a lot more in Beginner as well. Just because the Beginner players are not strictly following the meta. They also won't be taking as precise advantage of little greed windows. So, you know, if you're a Beginner League, you might do something greedy where there would be like an opening to attack, but the other player isn't quite aware of that, so you kind of get away with it, right? Whereas Intermediate, I think, is in the you're in this spot where people are very good at identifying those windows of attack, but they're not as good at not presenting them, if that makes sense. Like, I think the instinct in an Intermediate League to be able to identify, oh, yep, I can build some moles and I can push here, is a little more well-refined than, oh crap, I went Tier 2 and one too many farms that will leave myself open. So I think Intermediate, you've got this mix of, like, players leaving themselves open and players who know how to take advantage of that, which is what leads to a lot of the aggression. Speaking of aggression, so far this game, one base from both sides, building up a lot of Tier 1, getting into the Tier 2 at the moment. Map is a little bit weird. Kind of curious if either player is going to have the courage to take these forward bases. I mean, there are additional options. Courage is maybe too much. Boldness might be a better statement. Wildkin taking this base on the 9 o'clock, and yeah, Burnvictim can also take this back base. So yeah, we just got to give this game a little bit of time to brew here. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm not sure if anybody... Does anybody know if anyone else is casting today before Tander Draco? I know Tander's going to be casting in a few hours. So far, the event's been a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for getting your games done on time. I think we've pretty much got most of the replays in. I think there's a couple stragglers here and there, so if you are watching this and you haven't played your games yet, please play your games. We all try to be pretty friendly here, but there's got to be a point where it's like, all right, man, you didn't show up. I don't know what to tell you. I hope that happens in my group, right? So then I get the one spot extra up. So maybe I don't get eliminated in the first... Well, I can't get eliminated week 1, but in week 2. Hey, if I advance to the second round, I think that would be... I would be happy with that. I think last season I got out in the first round, so... If I get one more up, that'd be good. So Squirrel Toad, we might actually see these Toads really deal with these Lizards. Lizards tend to clump up a lot before they find their tiles. Almost like Mutalisk in StarCraft. So there is a good opportunity for these Toads, like right at that right moment, when the Lizards are all clumped up to get those engagements and crush them down. Okay, Burnvictim. This is pretty risky, but if they get away with it... Yeah, Wildkin's got the lizards too, so should be able to hunt these falcons down. Gil kills a pig and starts running for his life. I don't blame him. Oh, here come the lizards. Okay, no. Wildkin's not going to chase him down. Whew! I was worried too. A little bit of a float here from Burnvictim. Gonna throw down some cam warrants, make up for that. Kind of out in the open, but to be honest, I mean, Burnvictim's like running out of tiles here to place warrants. And the boar on the way for Wildkin, so that's probably going to be the big event in this game, is when the boar spawns here in about 20-30 seconds. Burnvictim has not scouted it. It does have the falcons, but I feel like you really need 4 falcons. I think 4 is the magic number to try to target down a boar or a badger with. I don't know why this is so funny to me. Just in my head, I just picture Hopper being like so nervous, like, all right, go, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. Wildkin's like, nope, not this time. And there it is, picks up those falcons. So trades 2 falcons for 2 pigs. I actually like that trade. Well, it's weird. It's like, it's a better trade for Burnvictim economically, but much better for Wildkin tempo-wise. And that tempo is really what Wildkin needed, because here comes Wildkin with this big bad boar. So that was like the worst time for Burnvictim to lose those falcons. If it was any other time, probably would have been okay with it. But oh my god, that's so much AoE damage on all this tier 1. Burnvictim trying to hold strong, but this comp here from Wildkin gonna be too much. GG there. And Wildkin is going to take that series 2-0. Nicely done.